All right, pianists, I hope you guys are doing great. For this week, we are going to be doing more cycles. This is kind of the last round of learning the cycles for us, though I encourage you to keep practicing them. They are extremely useful as pianists, as improvisers, as arrangers. So it's really great to get comfortable with these. For this week's cycle, we'll be doing the 2-5 and 2-5-1 circle of fifths cycle. That's a really nice, useful cycle. We hear it in all the time in tunes. One that it comes to mind immediately for me is that song, The Nearness of You. Here, 2-5 to the 4 chord, right? And we hear it all over the place. If you think about rhythm changes, the bridge of rhythm changes, people often will play, sometimes people just play D7 for 2 bars, then G7 for 2 bars, then C7 for 2 bars, then F7 for 2 bars. But sometimes, oftentimes people take those dominant chords and they treat them as 5 chords, and then they stick 2 chords in front of it. So oftentimes they'll do A minor 7, D7, D minor 7, G7, G minor 7, C7, C minor 7, F7. Right. So anyway, this is a useful cycle, so we're going to go through it. Before we start playing it, I want to go through some reminders about the voice leading, because now we're adding our 5th voice. We're doing 5-note voice leading, and this is really the 5 notes of our voice leading. Just to recap, here's the 2-5-1 voice leading. So breaking it down, we have the root moving to the root, moving to the root. Then we have the 3rd moves to the 7th, moves to the 3rd. And then we've got the 7th moves to the 3rd, moves to the 7th. Right? And between those things, we can tell what the chord quality is. That's the bass and core. Right? The bass is our root. The 3rd and 7th is our core. And then last week we were doing the last 2 weeks we've been doing one of the color notes, which is starting with the 5th, becoming the 9th, and then moving to the 13th, or possibly the 5th, but usually the 13th. So for this week, we're adding the final 5th voice up on top. That's starting with the 9th, which becomes the 13th, which becomes the 9th. So here's what that all sounds like put together. Here's our D minor 7 chord. Here's that top voice, that 9th. Moving to the 13th of the 5-7 chord of G7. Moving down to the 9th of C major 7. Right, so that's everything. It's a real nice, beautiful, full sound. And we can invert these chords. They don't always have to be with the 9th on top. Typically, most often we'll have either the 3rd or 7th on bottom in our right hand, but it doesn't have to be that way. Any note can be on bottom. Yeah, so again, also to recap the different components of the chord, we have the bass, so that's our roots. We have our core, which is the 3rd and 7th. So between our bass and core, you can really tell what the chord quality is. Those notes all really give it that harmonic definition. And then everything left is color. So they don't really give a lot of harmonic definition in terms of how the chords are functioning, but they add a lot of character to each chord. Okay, so now we're going to go through the 2-5-1 cycle, and we're going to do it using these full 5-note voicings, and we're going to go around the circle of fifths. And again, when you're playing through this, you want to be using the sheet that says common chord cycles at the top, and then it has the 2-5 whole step, 2-5 half step, 2-5 circle of fifths. You want it to be using that page. You don't want to be using the written out voicings. But I am including for you a page that has some of those measures blank, so you can write them out, and they're great to refer back to if you need them. Keeping it near your keyboard can be really useful, but you don't want to be in the habit of reading the voicings. You want to be in the habit of reading the chord changes, or playing through the cycle for memory. Saying the names of the chords aloud is really useful as you're playing through these, because you really want to not just be playing through the cycle well, but you want to be knowing what it is you're playing so that you can apply it to actual pieces of music. So let's go through. We've got this 2-5-1 circle of fifths cycle. So we'll do it starting on D minor 7, starting on a 2-5-1 in C major. But again, you want to be able to start anywhere in the cycle. It's great for you to practice starting at different points. Not every song starts on D minor 7. So anyway, we have D minor 7. That's a 2 chord, 5 chord, 1 chord in C major, right? Now the neat thing is then for our next chord, what was the 3rd of C major 7 is going to become the 7th of G minor 7, right? What was the 7th of C major 7 is going to become the 3rd of G minor 7. What was the 13th of C major 7 is going to become the 9th of G minor 7. And what was the 9th of C major 7 is going to become the 5th of G minor 7, right? So we still have this 3rd, 7, and 5, 9, 13 relationship. So anyway, here's from C major 7, C, E, A, B, D. And now we voice lead it. And then we just voice lead straight across. Just like our voice leading sheet says. So I'm going to head back to the beginning. Well, before I do, actually, we just ended there on the F major 7. Now we're getting a little on the low side, so to me this is a nice place to jump up. So I'm just going to move up an inversion. I was down here with the 7th on the bottom, and I'm just going to move up here also with the 7th on bottom. Okay, and then it's going to just voice lead according to the sheet. So going through it from the top, and I'll say the chord names while we're going through. Here's the 2-5-1 cycle starting on D minor 7. D minor 7, G7, C major 7. G minor 7, C7, F major 7. C minor 7, F7, B flat major 7. F minor 7, B flat 7, E flat major 7. B flat minor 7, E flat 7, A flat major 7. E flat minor 7, A flat 7, D flat major 7. A flat minor 7, D flat 7, G flat major 7. Now here I like to switch to calling things sharps. C sharp minor 7, F sharp 7, B major 7. F sharp minor 7, B7, E major 7. And B minor 7, E7, A major 7. E minor 7, A7, D major 7. A minor 7, D7, G major 7. And now we're back to the beginning. D minor 7, G7, C major 7. Right? And notice, by the way, the reason we call it the circle of fifths cycle is because we're moving around the circle of fifths in terms of which key we're playing the 2-5-1s in. So it's a 2-5-1 in C major, then 2-5-1 in F major, then 2-5-1 in B flat major. So C to F, F is a perfect fifth below C. Then you go down another perfect fifth and you've got B flat, then down another perfect fifth and you've got E flat. So that's why we call it the circle of fifths cycle. All right, going on the 2-5 cycle, it's the same exact deal. We just aren't playing the ones. So it's the same as before. So we're going to be doing 2-5 in C, 2-5 in F, 2-5 in B flat, 2-5 in E flat. So let's do this. So here we go. D minor 7, G7, G minor 7, C7. Now here's a nice place to jump up. C minor 7, F7, F minor 7, B flat 7, B flat minor 7, E flat 7, E flat minor 7, A flat 7, A flat minor 7, D flat 7. Now here's another nice place to jump up. C sharp minor 7, F sharp 7, F sharp minor 7, B7, B minor 7, E7, E minor 7, A7, A minor 7, D7. And then you're back to the beginning. And by the way, some of you may have caught it. I played a wrong note in the bass. I think it was around the E flat minor 7 chord. I think I played that as like an E flat, as like an E flat minor 7 over A flat, or people would call it, you could call it a flat 13 sus4 or a G flat major 7 over A flat. But basically I played an A flat in the bass, I think, instead of an E flat. I think it was around there. All right. Anyway, that's the assignment for this week. So think about how you want to break it up. You'll also be turning in your practice plan and practice log as always. Think about how you want to break it up in terms of, how many 2-5-1s you want to deal with each day. I encourage you to use a metronome. If you have any questions, please send me an email. All right, everybody. Thanks a lot, and I look forward to hearing your cycles.